Hello dear viewers, as always I'm Alexander Sudriv, you're on the Sovelmash channel and Dmitriy Alexandrovich Duyunov is in the studio. This section answers to your questions that you ask on our channel in the comments, well, and also in our social media account in Instagram. Okay, hello Dmitriy Alexandrovich, good afternoon. Good afternoon. So, the question is, who needs your motors? There is no demand, no specialists, no laboratory, no certificates. How can you comment on this? It's more of a statement than a question. No meat and no candies. Why do we need such a grandfather? There was such a joke. No demand? I wonder what you will say about the demand when your elevator breaks down. You will probably give the operator a hard air pull. And one elevator is 5 motors, at least. There are more motors in each apartment than there are dwellers. Every year in the world, about 7 billion induction electric rotating machines are consumed, and approximately the same number is being overhauled with winding replacement. Saying that there is no demand for motors is like saying that there is no demand for bread, no specialists. And who do we have working on the license? Aren't they specialists? Following this logic, they aren't. In my opinion, the person who asked the question is far from being aware of the events happening and doesn't understand the essence of the project at all. No demand? In Europe, the introduction of motors with energy efficiency class below I3 has already been banned. No demand? They can't fit in because they have class I2, I3, I4 motors. They are much larger in size and more expensive than I1 motors, and they need to change I1 motors to these. They would be happy to take something cheaper and meet in the energy efficiency classes I3 and I4 and with the same dimensions. But there can be a question, is it really true that the companies that produce motors today, famous brands, monopolists of a kind, cannot meet this demand? They meet it, but their motors are bigger and more expensive. There are such companies as Siemens, IG and all the others, because such performance characteristics are achieved only by increasing the mass of electrical materials and improving their quality. But the end consumers who get a heavier motor and in a different size, say a bigger size, does it matter to them? I mean, what costs or what losses they may incur using a more expensive motor. Imagine you have a vase. And you put the Mercedes-Benz 600 motor in it. How's that? It's a challenging task. The same is here. A lot of pieces of equipment do not allow you to mechanically replace one with another. They simply don't, because you won't accommodate it there. Imagine a dishwasher or a coffee grinder or something else. Remember maybe Soviet coffee grinders, mixers, meat grinders roared really loudly. They were operated by commutator motors, and now in Europe commutator motors are generally banned, even in power tools. What can be offered as an alternative? You can use BLDC or induction motors. BLDC motors are China. The price of magnets is exorbitant, and they're now grappling with this topic trying to solve the problem. Consumer properties and price ratio. Any ideas? We have one, but again, we have created the technology and now we need to implement this technology in a specific design and to offer the production process, because there are manufacturers of power tools, more than 60 plants, brands, well you know them, Makita, Dual Power Tools, there are plenty of them, yes there are plenty of them, and they need motors. Who will produce the motors? In order to produce motors you need documentation, you need production facilities and so on. Who can provide these things? Who can do it? Hello? And we're not ready yet. They will build and we will give, we will sell. I mean, in fact, there is no question of finding customers. There is a question of creating a competitive offer that people will not just want to buy. They will jump at it. Well, where does this project come from? We have demonstrated the technology, visited enterprises. They say, yes, great, we have installed your motors, they are superb. Where are the motors? How many of them can you offer per month, per year? And so on. None at all. Why? We don't produce them. Well then, there is nothing to talk about. That is it possible to make such a statement today that if there is a ready-made production and certain capacities, there will be a fairly high demand for such products? Look, Alexander, if you have a bakery, you can offer customers good quality bread at a competitive price. Will you sell it? I think yes. And these motors are the real bread of the industry. Earlier it was said that coal is the real bread of the industry, and today the foundation of the industry is induction machines. There is no getting around it. So far, nothing newer or more advanced has been offered in the industry. To date, no BLDC motors, no other motors are able to replace induction motors, and they won't replace them in the foreseeable future. So our work plan is a whole host of tasks to cover. And this is very inspiring, and such a statement is a bogus story. Totally unfounded, because the information I provide is based on the analytical report by Businesstat, collected in countries and continents, where the demand is clear if there is demand at all, and so on. Then, we do not act recklessly. We rely on certain studies that have been conducted, including market research. And, as far as I remember, according to the same Businesstat, by 2023 the turnover will be not 7 billion motors, but 10. And it will probably grow. We can continue to discuss further, argue, and debate. This is in our blood. We can chat well, chat on any topic, and then we just sit and envy. It's done somewhere else, and we just discuss why we don't have it, because we're the talking kind. We talk a lot, we discuss a lot, we talk emotionally and so on. We look up to the West. Like in that joke, remember? The bus breaks suddenly, and everyone falls down. Yon man, you're lying on top of me. And he says, well, I'm sorry, I'm not doing anything. So do at least something. So, let's do at least something, not just talk. Thank you. Thank you for your answer, and thank you, dear viewers, for the question. See you again.